Hello everyone, and welcome to our Asus TV Accessories YouTube channel. Today, we present to you the disassembly and reassembly of the Asus TUF 507. It's a small gaming PC. Let's go for the disassembly. Equip yourself with this toolkit with all the bits necessary to dismantle your device, as well as a storage locker for the screws. Find all the parts for this device on our site. You type in the reference of your device, you obtain the entire kit, all the components corresponding to your reference. We start by disassembling the bottom. On this model, we have cruciform screws. For this model, all the screws are identical, except these two here. The screw which is here allows you to prevent the screw from withdrawing. It allows you to easily find an opening. It does not withdraw, it's done on purpose. In fact, it pushes the bottom here. You have a slight opening. I do the same thing on the other side. I unclip the bottom with the plastic spatula. The bottom is unclipped. That's it for dismantling the bottom on the TUF 507 series. Here, we have a great system copper cooling module, the thermal module. This part is the passive part, while these are the active parts. The part here is the battery. We find it under the thermal paper and the accessories which are underneath. I keep them for reassembly. Here, the RAM sticks, we have the storage unit, an SSD. These are the new generation hard drives. Here, the speaker system. Here, we have what we call an I/O card. It is an accessory card which manages for this model only a single USB port. It is connected by a cable to the motherboard. We begin the disassembly. We disconnect the battery to avoid false contact during the use of the screwdriver on the machine. That's the end of removing the battery. We continue to dismantle the easily accessible accessories. The RAM strips, I move the metal lugs aside, the RAM strip lifts up, I remove it. We do the same thing for the second. We remove our storage unit. The hard drive, I remove the screw. There you have a small thermal cover. That's it for removing your storage unit. We don't unplug everything from following the speakers, given that the wires pass under the motherboard. We may have trouble removing them. Here, we will not be able to remove them immediately since the speaker cable passes under the motherboard. This will be one of the last elements to disassemble. We remove the I/O card, additional card. It seems accessible. I lift the plastic lug which holds your cable. Once it is open, I remove my cable. I remove the screw that holds it. That's it for removing your I/O card. We do the same thing on the other side for the cable. If you don't reassemble your device immediately, you no longer remember where to place this cable and in which direction, above all. Here, you have marked USB. Here you have marked MB for motherboard. Here, we remove our Wi-Fi card which was hidden under the cable. I remove the antenna cables, I remove the screw of the Wi-Fi card, I lift it slightly, I pull it. Take the time to analyze how the components are positioned. Here, I have the LVDS cable, which connects your screen to your device. I unplug it. Be careful not to damage the tape to reattach it during reassembly. I unplug the screen, I remove the hinges. The hinge screws are identical. The technique for separating the computer from the screen. I fall under 20 degrees of opening. I hold my computer because it is no longer held by the hinges. Pay attention to the cable. Slide the device. I change the part on the screen. I do not do it on all disassembly. We will continue disassembling the device afterward. We remove the small covers here. On this model, I have to change the cover, the rear cover of the screen. I separate the screen. I recover the components, webcam and other cables. Mount it on the new cover. We'll see how to change a panel. I use the plastic spatula. Be careful not to break the claws. On the bezel, it is the outline of your screen. It is very thin. Here, we have a strip of adhesive, made delicately to keep the sticky when reassembling the device. We avoid leaning too much on the screen, especially if it is not broken. I unclip the bezel. That's it for dismantling your bezel. This part is ultra thin. Here we have an adhesive. To remove your screen which is held by adhesive, you have two small tabs here. Take tweezers to grab them. To remove your screen, I look at where the cable goes. You must iron the cables in the same place as the origin on the new cover. The new cover, I have to recover everything that is hinges, cables, and others. We start with the easiest. I dismantle the first hinge. I put it back on my new cover. It's okay for both hinges. Once you have removed the hinges, you need to remove the screen. Here you have the first adhesive LED strip. Pull lightly, hoping it doesn't break. If it breaks, it's a little annoying to remove your screen. Once we have removed this adhesive strip, I do the same operation on the other side. I go under it. My screen is removed. The adhesive strips were here. My screen is practically removed. I undo the LVDS cable to be able to separate it. I will have to recover this cable as well as the webcam above. I remove the security adhesive. When you press a screen, be careful that it does not have something underneath to avoid not to break your screen. Remove the adhesive. We try not to damage it too much. You have here a security closing system. This is not on all the cable. You have a metal latch which will have to be lifted before you pull to remove the cable. If you need to change your screen, here is the action that will need to be done. I finish dismantling the cover. I recover the cable. Look at where it is. You will have to position it in the same way. We recover this cable, this one which is connected to the webcam here. These are paper cables. I collect the adhesive afterward. I don't pull so as not to damage the socket here. I try delicately with the metal tweezers. I don't really like it, but I don't have much choice. I don't have anything sharper to remove the webcam plug. This is what we call the LVDS cable. These are fragile cables and very important for the display of your device. We have removed almost everything from the cover. You remove the webcam. Here too, these are very thin little plates. they tend to bend and break. Be careful when taking off. It is often just glued. We peel them off delicately. We don't force. We don't bend this little electronic plate too much. We completely dismantled our cover. I have my 2 adhesive strips to stick my screen on. I'm getting rid of this one. I replaced the webcam cable to reconnect it. To reposition it is easy. You have keyers. I managed to keep the effectiveness of the sticker. I put it back as originally. I plug in my screen, I move my little cable aside. Keep a little slack to reconnect the cable. I insert it once I'm in front. I pull to clip it in. I fold my security system. I fold down here my sticker which holds it. I remove the strips for the adhesive behind the screen. I position only the cable. I check that it is well positioned. I remove the blue film. It is okay for a strip. We are positioned. The slab is glued. We are good. Your slab is in place. We reposition our bezel. I am proud of not having broken anything. I move the hinge a little to place my bezel on it. Same here, everything is in position. I check that everything is well clipped. Here this is not the case. Everything is okay for the screen change. I screw my bezel back on. We are okay. We changed the screen and the cover. The bezel is no longer marked. The customer will be happy. We resume the disassembly of our device. I continue the disassembly of the rest of my equipment. All the accessories and the motherboard, we still have the motherboard before removing our speakers. Before unscrewing the motherboard, I remove the cables. It's still the same concept as earlier with the removal of the cables. Here on this model, you have one which is hidden. Be very careful. I remove. I unscrew. The thermal module is in 2 parts. The active part can be separated from the passive part. I have not disconnected them. I check the hold. I think it is a screw for the M2. It is not a retaining screw. Sometimes there are cables under the motherboard. This is exactly the case here. This is the one that we did not see earlier. It is the backlight cable of your device. It's always good not to force. That's it for the disassembly of your motherboard. You can remove the active part. The fan, you can change only this part. You are not obliged to change the complete part of the cooling system. You have a video in the description. I explain to you how to change the thermal paste of your processor and your GPU. There are both on this model. I explain to you what the numbers. All we have to do is disassemble our touchpad. The laptop mouse, I grab the corner, I tilt it slightly. I remove my touchpad. That's it for the disassembly of the touchpad on your Series TUF507. For the speakers, it's very easy once you've removed everything. Look where the cable goes. We go under the Wi-Fi cables. The top cases are not delivered with the speakers. If you need to change your keyboard, it will look like this. The top case. This is the end of the complete disassembly of your TUF507. Let's go for the reassembly. We attack with the last part that we had left, the top case. On this model in particular, it is quite rare the last part that I dismantled were the speakers. On this model, it is the first part that I reassemble. I position my speakers. It's finished for the reassembly of the speakers. I try to respect the passage of the cable as much as possible, as at the origin. Once we have positioned our speakers, we reposition our touchpad. We could not disassemble the touchpad if we had not removed our motherboard to insert it. I put it slightly diagonally. I pressed on the small metal lugs. It positioned itself. I put the 3 screws back. I positioned my motherboard. I did not remove the fans. I will have to maintain them. Here, there was a cable. We must not forget it. I position the USB ports. I move aside to pass the sound connector. It is one of the things which are careful. We are okay. It is positioned like this. I put back the 4 screws of the motherboard. It's okay for the motherboard. I connect all the plugs on the motherboard, the speakers. I put the cable back there. I cannot put them back because they are the Wi-Fi ones. The card is not in place. I put the backlight back on. We raise the pin before folding it down. Same for the keyboard. I raise the pin, insert the cable, and I fold it down. Same here. I fold it down, and the last one at the top, the lug is raised, and I fold it down. There, I have connected all the cables on my motherboard. I reposition my I/O card, accessory card. I put the retaining screw. We are okay. We position our screen. To put your screen back, slide it. I take my screen upside down since my computer has the hinges here. They are on top. I lift it. I slide my screen underneath. I position it as if it was already mounted. I hold it. It was put in place by itself, remember. The cable goes like this. I reposition my cable. I fold my hinge like that on the other side. I put back the 4 hinge screws. If you remember where they are placed, you have triangles drawn. You have a hole used for the bottom. Do not put them anywhere. We do an opening check/closing. I open it, it doesn't fall, the hinge works well. I put the LVDS cable back on because otherwise I won't have an image on my computer. I insert it here once the pin is raised. I fold it down. That's it for reassembling your LVDS cable. We continue to put back the accessories. We put back a first RAM strip. I put it in at an angle. I push so that the metal lugs block it. I do the same on the other side. I put it back my Wi-Fi card. Once it is in place, I push, put the screw back in, I reconnect my antennas. You have a black triangle for the black wire, a white triangle for the white wire. I press on it when I am comfortable. Opposite, these are clipping systems. We reconnected our Wi-Fi card. I put back our storage unit. The hard drive, I put back the small cover before I insert it slightly diagonally. I press, I screw, there is a trap. I had forgotten the connection cable between the accessory card and your motherboard, USB side on the I/O card accessory card. I insert it, I fold it down, I do the same thing here. If something was missing before reassembling the unit, I can put my storage unit back in. The hard drive is reassembled. I position the battery but not plug it in straight away. I position it. I put back the 3 battery screws. I no longer need the screwdriver. I reconnect my battery. I think about closing the small safety valve. I put the thermal cover back on. position my bottom. I do not close it. I do the startup test, the speakers work. We have had the startup sound, the mouse and keyboard work. I can't see if I have Wi-Fi. I would have to start it. I put it to sleep. I didn't stop it. I unplugged it. I screwed my bottom for the bottom. There were only these two central screws at the top, which were different, longer. It's finished for reassembly of your TUF507. Thank you for following this video. I hope it was useful to you. Don't hesitate to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. See you soon for new videos.